Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We're here for a transportation hearing. I'm going to ask Attorney Joanne Wessinger-Hill to read the docket.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, we are here for the proceeding in docket number 2020-153T, which is the application for a Class E household goods certificate of public convenience and necessity for operation of a motor vehicle carrier by Mako Movers, LLC. This hearing has been scheduled for Wednesday, September the 9th, 2020, to begin upon conclusion of the Commission's business meeting, which began at 2 p.m. Mr. Chairman, due to the public health concerns and the COVID-19 pandemic, this proceeding has been scheduled to be conducted virtually. It is my understanding that our technology is fully functioning and that all parties participating in this matter are present with their respective witness ready and available. Mr. Chairman, the docket is in order.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Wessinger-Hill. I would like to take appearances. Who do we have with us here today?
Charlie Toraney, Mr. Chairman, for the applicant.
Jenny Pittman for ORS.
Thank you all for joining us today. Are there any preliminary matters that we need to address before we proceed?
There are a couple, Mr. Chairman.
Please share them with us, Mr. Toraney.
Thank you. We would like to move to introduce the affidavit of the Shepherd witness, Lynn Snyder, into evidence at this time.
Any objections?
No objections.
Motion granted.
And I should clarify, as a declaration is allowed by the Supreme Court rules. Order.
Thank you, Mr. Toraney. Motion granted.
We would also like to introduce the application and its exhibits, but we'd like to move to amend the application, and I'll explain the nature of the amendment, if I may.
Please proceed.
There was a page in the application that was inadvertently filed, and I'm sharing my screen now. It's number page 6 on the application. It was attached to the insurance quote, which is on page 5. That page is not relevant to these proceedings, and we would like to withdraw it and substitute for it a certificate of liability and cargo insurance, which we're prepared to introduce at the hearing, or as a late filed exhibit. So that is our motion to amend the application, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Toraney. Any objections?
No objections.
Motion granted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are ready to proceed if it pleases the Commission.
It does. Please proceed.
We need to swear Ms. Jillian Oline to the stand. Call her to the stand and swear her, please.
Ms. Oline, if you would raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swear.
Thank you.
Ms. Oline, did you prepare or cause to be prepared 4 pages of pre-filed testimony in this docket?
I did, yes, sir.
Do you have any corrections or additions you wish to make to that testimony?
No, sir.
Thank you. If I were to ask you the questions in the testimony today, would your answers be the same?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to introduce the pre-filed testimony of Jillian Oline at this time.
Yes, it's accepted into the record.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Oline, did your testimony include 2 exhibits, Exhibit A, a tariff, and Exhibit B, a bill of lading?
That's correct, yes.
Do you have any changes or corrections that you wish to make to either one of these exhibits?
No, I do not.
Chairman, I would move to introduce Exhibits A and B to Ms. Oline's testimony at this time.
Exhibits A and B are included in the record.
Thank you. Ms. Oline, please state your full name and address for the record.
Jillian Oline, and it is 1064 Gardner Road.
And what is your relationship to Mako Movers?
I am the sole owner.
Great. Tell the commission a little bit about your educational background, please.
Well, originally I started packing boxes. I did that for an extended period of time, dishes, china, lamps, things like that. After doing it so long, I felt comfortable that I wanted to expand and, get on to some moving quotes because I was able to correctly calculate how many boxes we would need. And then I kind of went to the moving quotes, and then from there, just kind of dibbled in that for a while. Obviously, I'm not a mover, but I definitely dealt with marketing and the background things, day-to-day office things.
Okay, so you worked in the moving industry.
Yes.
And who did you work for?
I was specifically with Mary Kay and Marketing Solutions for a long period of time. Moving Solutions. And I helped with my husband's business off and on up until 2016-ish.
Okay. And you have a degree from Trident, Texas, is that right?
I have an associate, yes.
And and you have a property management license?
That's correct.
Okay. When did you go into property management business, or were you in it?
Kind of, sort of. Janitorial company that I was involved with my husband, the moving company, they all kind of, or the packing company, I should say, they all kind of overlapped at one point. And as a resident in Charleston, it's pretty lucrative out there for these vacation rentals. So I kind of got into that and realized very quickly that that was not what I wanted to do. So, I mean, it's after hours kind of work, so that wasn't fun.
Okay. So you found your niche in the moving business.
Absolutely, much more comfortable there.
And now you want to strike out on your own.
I think I'm ready, yes, sir.
Good. So let's talk about Mako Movers a little bit. I'm going to share a screen. You have a nice, that's a very nice logo you have. You told me where it came from. Can you share that with the commission?
Actually, to be completely honest, it was my son's idea. He's in middle school, and he was very excited to help us get rolling. I was trying to think of something catchy to kind of differentiate ourselves, and that seemed the most fun. And the design kind of came pretty easily with the name.
I think you did a good job. You're not talking to us today from your office, are you? You're at home, right?
I am, unfortunately, virtual academy with my children has taken up significantly more time than I expected up front. So they finished school, and I hopped right on here with you guys. So I have been in front of a camera all day.
Oh, my goodness. Well, hopefully this will be easier than homeschooling.
This is easy, all this so far. There's not a bunch of apps to deal with, so I'm feeling a lot more confident here.
Okay. Does your business have an office?
Yes, it's located in West Ashley.
Okay. And when you go into business, how many employees do you expect to have?
We just start with 4 people that I've known for several years that are excited, as excited as we are about starting up a new moving company.
And you've already told the commission that you've got experience with packing and estimating moves.
That's correct.
These employees of yours have experience with the actual moving process?
Yes, they do. A lot more on the physical end than I am have ever dealt with.
But you've directed moves in the past, basically, right?
Just I'm not the muscle.
No, you're not the muscle, but you're clearly the brains of the outfit. How are you going to train these folks if they need training?
Well, I think that our goal was to try to get certified through AMSA, the American Moving Storage Association. They offer excellent training videos. Actually can help teach employees as and staff on how to quote moves, and I'd like to start there, but I think just as significant as that is, it's kind of a hands-on job. So I think the combination of the two is where we're trying to focus.
Tell the commission a little bit about AMSA, because not all of the applicants that we see belong to that organization.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's a certification that you can go through. It looks really good on your webpage. It's just a really...
You have to go through the certification process. I'm sorry to interrupt online. I know it's awkward, but...
No, we go through and support documents that we have stating that we've kind of like what we're doing with you, but it's a matter of becoming certified through them. And ultimately, it's a training course, not just for the future employees, but for us as well.
Wonderful. And do you have a vehicle?
We have one truck at the moment.
And is this your truck?
That's it. That's old Betty.
Wonderful. Do you plan to acquire any other trucks?
Whenever we get the ball rolling and we're ready to move forward, yes, that is definitely the goal. This was just a great deal at a good time, so that's kind of why we picked it up early.
Very good. And have any of your drivers, who's going to drive this truck?
I mean, the staff that we would have on board, guys that have the appropriate licenses to do so and are trained by us. I mean, I think to start would probably be my brother. He's a contractor. It's kind of like I help him, he helps me kind of a thing. So that would be a great source to, when we start, to be able to have that access to potential business.
Good. And he has a valid license? It hasn't been suspended or anything like that?
Oh, yes, 100%.
Right. Are there any outstanding judgments against Mako Movers?
No, sir.
Have you ever been convicted of a crime?
No, sir.
And, there, I got you back. Do you, we talked about insurance earlier today, when we were moving to amend your application.
Right.
So you do have insurance?
Yes, we do. I apologize we didn't get that to you sooner. It's through Progressive South Atlantic.
And I assume you have liability and cargo insurance, is that correct?
We have both.
What are the limits of your insurance? Do you know?
Let me look for him. I'm thinking 66 per pound or upwards of 750,000. I'm sorry, I'm confusing what I'm doing.
Well, Ms. O'Lean, would it surprise you to know that the certificate you provided me states you have $1 million in single limit liability insurance and $2 million in aggregate and $50,000 in cargo insurance.
Okay. Yes.
Are you aware that these insurance limits far exceed the commission's requirements?
Yes. Yes, the South Atlantic.
Right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Vice Chair Belzer.
could I ask if the witness could speak a little slower? We're missing some syllables with the internet, so maybe if we talk a little slower, it might catch things up a little better. Thank you.
Okay. Tell us about what you see your business doing over the next 5 years.
We plan to initially start a 2-year program here in Charleston, get the name out, get established here. It helps being from the Charleston area. And in the next 3 to 5 years, we would like to expand and move upwards to North Carolina, probably Charlotte, and down to Georgia, Savannah, possibly Atlanta. A lot of that, for us personally, has to do with my children and making sure the transition between middle and high school. So 2 years definitely here in Charleston, and then long term, we're going to kind of play that out.
Right. And how are you going to advertise this business?
Well, thus far, we have been having a website built, and it's like the logo, it's really sharp. And once we can go live, we plan to have advertising through Facebook, and in my previous experience, doing mailers. It's been pretty successful in the past with other business.
Okay. Obviously, Charleston's been shut down for a while, and we're still in a state of emergency, and COVID's affecting the economy. Is there still a need for movers?
I believe absolutely so. The interest rates are low right now. It's an excellent time to start a moving company for that reason. Charleston's continuing to grow, not just out, but up. And people that want to move, they'll call one day, and they need to only be able to move this day. And a lot of moving companies are booked up, so they can't do it. And it's nice to have options for people to pick that up. The last week of the month is always going to be a busy time frame with home sales and over the summer. So it can be time sensitive. That's probably a better way to put it.
Now, I'm going to show the commission a bill of lading that is attached to your testimony. Is this the bill of lading that you submitted with your application?
Yes, sir.
And are you familiar with bills of lading through your previous the experience with moving companies?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to use a bill of lading for every move?
Every move.
I'd like to talk about your tariff a little bit. And it was Exhibit A to your application. This is the tariff you submitted that we've introduced into evidence. And I'm just going to scroll to the charges page because I think that would be a good place to start.
Okay.
If let's assume that I wanted to move from Mount Pleasant to Columbia, and I have about a 2,000 square foot house, and I call you up and I say, Ms. O'Lean, I'm looking for a mover, and describe the process that you would go through from quoting me the move to actually charging me, moving me and charging me for it. Let's start with the quote.
I think the most accurate way to do it is to have access to inside the home that they're going to be starting the move from. Once we get in, I can estimate how many boxes there are, the layout of the house, the type of furniture that they have. Is it 2-story? How close can we get the truck to the home? And then I'll take all those factors into account and try to give an estimated amount of hours that it'll take to load and unload the furniture.
Okay. And if I say that sounds great, I'm ready to go, what do we do next?
Well, in addition to that, I would probably have to virtually, if it's out of town, also know where they're going to be completing the move at.
Okay.
But from there, With that information of the estimated hours to load and unload, I would offer an estimate, a non-binding estimate to the people doing the move, and we would bill accordingly with our hourly minimums, et cetera.
And when you finish the move, well, let me ask you this: do you offer any discounts in your tariff?
Specifically just military and senior citizen rates.
Okay. And once the move is completed, would you bill the actual amount or the estimated amount?
I would bill the actual amount. The estimated, again, is non-binding, and it would be billed after the minimum is met in 15-minute increments.
Okay. So, Lean, if you're granted authority, will you comply with the Commission's rules and regulations?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Those are all the questions I have for you. Please answer any questions ORS or the Commission may have, and I'll quit sharing the screen there.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner, Vice Chairman Belzer.
I have a question for the witness, please. Could I-
Before I take Commissioner questions, Vice Chairman
Oh, yeah.
Belzer, want to give ORS opportunity for cross-examination, if any?
No questions from ORS. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No problem.
I'm sorry I jumped the gun.
It's okay. Vice Chair Belzer.
Good afternoon, Ms. Oline, am I saying that correctly?
That's correct.
Thank you for being here today to tell us about your company. I have one question about your tariff, and it goes along with the senior citizen discount.
Correct.
Have you specified what constitutes a senior citizen in your tariff?
I don't think it was necessarily specific. I think I was under the assumption it was 65 and older, but I can't clarify if need be.
That might be a good thing to do.
Okay.
Just for clarity, may prevent some disputes in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Belzer. Any more questions from the commissioners? All right, hearing none. Anything else from the parties?
Just, Mr. Chairman, with the Commission's leave, we'll submit an amended tariff defining senior citizen.
All right, sounds good. And Mr. Tarini, I'm sure you informed your client that the commission would not be making a decision today, but will render a decision sometime in the near future.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. ORS, is there anything from you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me. While we did not file testimony in this docket, we did submit a letter yesterday stating that based upon our review, we find that the applicant meets the requirements of fit, willing, and able to be a household goods mover in the state of South Carolina. And at this time, I would like to move that letter dated September 8th, 2020 into the record as the next exhibit.
That letter is moved into the record.
Okay. And I also have Mr. Thomas McGill from our Safety, Transportation, and Emergency Response Department. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to put him on the stand.
Any questions for Mr. McGill? Hearing none, we can keep Mr. McGill off the stand.
Nothing further. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Ms. Pittman. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if you would like, before we conclude the hearing, I can run down the numbers of the exhibit so that all parties can clarify if there anything needs to be corrected.
Absolutely, Ms. Wessinger-Hill.
We have exhibit number 1, which is the shipper witness declaration of Ms. Snyder. Exhibit number 2, which will be a late filed exhibit, which will be the amended application. Exhibit number 3 is a composite exhibit of exhibits number A and B that were attached to the direct pre-filed testimony of Ms. Oline. Exhibit number 4 will also be a late filed exhibit, which will reflect the amended tariff as discussed in the hearing. And then exhibit number 5 will be the ORS letter dated September 8th, 2020.
Do all parties agree to the exhibits read by Ms. Wessinger Hill?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ORS agrees.
Right. If there's not anything else, this concludes this hearing. Thank you for
Chairman, I'd
attending.
just like to say welcome.
I'm sorry, Mr. Torini?
I said I'd just like to say welcome back.
Oh, thank you. It is good to be back. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good day.